spell type with one finger on the iPad, and type I did on set every day. I felt very much heard by everyone, and it's so important, if you're struggling with a disease like this, to feel you still matter. It's ironic that in my deteriorated state I'd be able to make a film that was creatively everything I'd ever wished for.
Thank you so much. And Richard, also, if you could say something about what it was like to work with our star, Julianne Moore, and watch as well. Thank you.
Everything to do with her character, Julianne had a big say in. We wanted her to feel fully in the know about personnel we were hiring, actors we were casting, and so on. We really came to trust each other that way. Julianne always had notes, and while we were firming up the next week's scenes, we'd text thoughts back and forth. We thought of her as a full creative partner in the process. More importantly, Julianne had an amazing receptivity to the terrible jokes I'd make up. What a joy it was to see her every day on set. What a joy and inspiration.
And so, for our actors in the film, I'm wondering if you could tell us a little bit about what the experience was like. I mean, for the directors, it seems like there was such a personal connection with the work, obviously. Was there any sort of personal inspirations that you drew upon for this particular project?
Well, I mean, what I think is so compelling, what was so compelling about this movie for me is that it's really about, who we are essentially. There's a reason it's called Still Alice. It's that, who, if you're in the face of anything it's affecting your life in this kind of major way, like, who are you essentially in the face of a terrible disease? Who are you to your loved ones, your children, your husband, your job, your whatever? Who are you to the world? And it's not that someone disappears. I think it's a misnomer with Alzheimer's in particular that someone goes away. The person is there. They're there in different capacities. So it's like, how do you express that? And I think it was interesting in terms of my relationship with Richard and Wash that they were in a somewhat similar situation where the interesting thing about communicating with Richard is that what he was going through kind of disappeared after a while because you're still communicating with the person that's there. And so it wasn't, oddly, it wasn't an issue. So it in a way it made it very clear for me what was